Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. I figured out my hair for this video. I feel like that's gonna be a running joke now. It's like, what am I gonna do with my hair? So today I want to talk about setting an action plan to achieve your goals. This is basically a part two to last week's video on SMART goals. So we're going to use these SMART goals to create an action plan, and this action plan is how we're actually going to set those goals in motion. So let's just get right into it. If you enjoy this video, please make sure you like, comment, and subscribe at the end. So first, before we even get into what an action plan is, I want to talk about why they are so important. An action plan is important because it helps us maintain our focus and clarity throughout the duration of our goal time period. Having a plan is also useful because it helps us stay committed to, what it is we're trying to accomplish. Having set parameters helps us to stay motivated to actually accomplish what it is we're working towards. So it keeps us accountable, it keeps us on track, and it keeps us in it. Like, you want to stay motivated to do it what you started, because sometimes goals take a very long time to achieve, especially long-term goals. Like short-term goals, depending on what they are, may take some substantial amount of time to complete, but long-term goals, especially like goals spanning multiple years, definitely take a lot of hard work and motivation. So having a plan for those goals will help you to get through those tough times when you feel like you want to give up on those goals, or you're not really sure what it is that you're actually working towards. Having a plan is what you can come back to and what keeps you anchored throughout the process. Having an action plan can also help you to anticipate and mitigate obstacles, because when you take the time to plan out what it is you want to do and how you're going to do it, you also take the time to assess your risk, your obstacles, things that may get in the way, things that you would have to consider ahead of time to make sure that this goal is feasible, it's relevant, it's time bound. All of the components of SMART goals you would take into account when you're creating your action plan. So as I've just mentioned, there may be times when it gets really hard. You don't know exactly what it is you're working so hard for. You feel like giving up, things aren't working out right away, they're not working out how you had hoped or expected. But by having your action plan, you can refer to it, and you can refer to the solutions and the strategies that you have outlined for when you are in these exact scenarios where things get difficult. You have systems in place where you can trust yourself to make it through and navigate the situation so that you're still on track to accomplish your goals. Even if the timeline gets pushed back, that happens all the time. It doesn't mean you failed because something takes longer than you had planned. But even in those instances, you can rest assured that you are staying on track to complete that goal. Even if it does happen at a later time, you're still going to get to the next train station. You see, we're connecting the videos. You're still going to get to the next train station, um, even if you stumble and fall along the way. So now we're going to get into how you create an action plan. So the first thing you want to do when you're creating an action plan is to assess what it is your goals are. Like I said, this is a part two to last week's video. So this would be the part where you set up your SMART goals, where you sit down and you think about what it is you want to achieve. You're going to be specific. You're going to make sure you can measure these goals. You're going to make sure they're achievable, they're relevant, and there's a timeline for you to get everything done. Next, you're going to break down your goals. And by that, I mean splitting them down into smaller tasks so that they are more manageable and they are more appropriate given different circumstances, other things that you may be working on, other goals that you may have. In last week's video, we talked about having a goal to increase followers on Instagram and how that may be coupled with a goal to increase subscribers on YouTube. So breaking down this goal, you would see what types of strategies and plans overlap. so that you can streamline the process and be efficient in the way in which you work towards increasing Instagram followers while also increasing YouTube subscribers. You could also do one at a time. You don't have to do them in tandem, but of course, sometimes things just work out that way where it makes sense to work on similar goals at the same time. So when you break down your goals into smaller chunks, it's easier to see where things fit into place, where you can be more flexible. Like I said, life happens. Sometimes you have to give yourself some more time, some more leeway. And when you have smaller pieces, it's easier for you to move them around and adjust your plan accordingly. A couple ways you can do this is by having a planner or a journal somewhere where you can one, write down your goals. As I said in the last video, you have to write down your goals, but also to keep checking in. So maybe it's like a daily to-do list or a monthly list of, what you've done, what you need to do, something like that. It could be a spreadsheet. I love me a good spreadsheet. When maybe if I have the time, I will, create one for you guys or send you guys a link to the one that I use to stay on top of what I do, specifically for work. Maybe I'll do that. Stay tuned. I might do a community post where I launch those things. Side note, that's definitely something I want to do as I continue the series. I want to offer you guys like worksheets and things that you can do alongside me as I, learn these things and go through this process myself. So keep an eye out for that. But yeah, having a planner, a spreadsheet, some sort of workspace like Notion is really good for that type of thing, where you can have everything organized and managed in one place so that you are one, writing your goals to have them in your brain, but also to have them in front of you and to have your plans, your action plan listed out like physically, instead of just having it in your mind of like, I'm gonna do this, then I'm gonna do this, and I'm gonna do this. You're gonna have a lot of things that are easy to lose track of over time. So definitely having some places where you can physically track and manage your goals is going to be super helpful. So again, following up from last week's video, you want to be tracking your goals. Like if you're setting SMART goals, one of the components is that your goals have to be measurable. So tracking your goals is measuring, how effective your goals are. Are you actually achieving them? What's the progress? Things of that manner. So how you would track your goals, again, as I mentioned, you could have a place like a spreadsheet, a journal, a Notion workspace where you create a graph, a chart, some sort of visual of your progress. It could be as simple as just a to-do list and you literally like check off things that you have done, or it could be as complex as a spreadsheet with formulas and moving components. You don't have to be super complicated. It can literally just be a list, but you want to make sure that you're actually tracking your goals. So going back to the examples that we were working with before, if you have a goal to increase your Instagram followers by X amount of time, you want to be checking in, daily, weekly, monthly, whatever time frame you give yourself leading up to the deadline. You want to be actively checking in and measuring and recording your progress throughout. What's the point of a goal if you're not actually making sure that you're working towards that goal? Like how are you going to accomplish something if you're not actively trying to accomplish it? I've already talked about this before, but you definitely want to make sure that you are flexible throughout the duration of your goals period. So what I mean by that is, like I said, life happens. You're going to have to move things around from time to time. You may have to postpone the deadline of a goal. You may have to do things sooner than expected as opposed to later. So just being mindful that things are always going to change. Sometimes things just don't go to plan, and that's okay. So make sure that you can be flexible. Don't get overwhelmed. Don't stress yourself out because things aren't panning out the way you had expected. And, that's why we have a plan, so that we can anticipate the things that could go wrong and at the very least prepare ourselves with possible solutions. Having systems in place for us to fall back on so that we're not just scrambling and, trying to keep our head over water. we are, you know, standing tall, and we are, you know, fully confident and capable to get through the situation. So that is it for today's video. I tried to keep it really short and simple for you guys. Let me know if you find these tips helpful. If there's anything you want me to talk about more in depth, comment down below and I'll see if I can fit it into another video, or I could do a dedicated video for that. Just comment and let me know. Yeah, I hope you guys are staying on track with your goals. Like I've said in last week's video, I make these videos kind of to keep me grounded so that I'm actively pursuing the things that I want to pursue, because it's one thing to say that I'm going to do like a million things and then not actually do them, but by making these videos, I'm reminding myself of the things that I'm learning, and I'm teaching you so that it's in my mind. Like they always say, you know something when you're able to teach it to something else. So by me making these videos and sharing the knowledge that I am acquiring as I am on this journey of, like, you know, doing my life, living life, I guess, I am reiterating and cementing my knowledge in my brain. They always say that knowledge without application is a waste, but knowledge applied is wisdom. So that's what we're trying to do here. I'm teaching you, you guys are in the comments teaching me. We're doing this together. We're living our best life and we're accomplishing our goals. And that's what I want for all of us until the end of the year. Not until the end of the year, but throughout the rest of the year. Anyway, I always ramble at the end of my videos, and I always say I don't know what I'm going to do with my hair. So again, comment below what hairstyle I should do next, and what topic we should talk about next week. Thank you guys so much for watching. I really appreciate it. I really hope you enjoyed this video. Make sure you comment, like, and subscribe for more videos just like this one, and I will see you next week. Goodbye!